Anyway, first tonight, this weekend sees the very first Fife Independent Film Expo at Lochgailey Centre. Film buffs will be blocking to see 5 features and 53...
Blocking?
Blocking even! To see 53 films. Anyway, that's your bit.
And there's a whole lot more to look forward to as well. With us in the studio is the organiser of the whole thing, Alex Harron, and as well Colin. They'll be running the workshops. We'll talk to them in a moment, but first, here's a look at some of what's happening on Saturday.
Something subliminal. You just said blocking is a film term, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, director will usually block a set before we roll, so
well,
laying out everywhere people are going to be.
So we could be blocking to Fife.
We
could be blocking the
It'll take
whole...
a long time to do the whole thing from here though.
Anyway, we should say welcome Alex Harron and Colin. Great stuff here that we just saw. Now, is this kind of event taking a lot of organising, because it looks massive?
Yeah, I mean, basically what we've done was we got in contact with Creating Fife and Fife Cultural Trust about running a film festival in Fife, and basically we opened for submissions. We got over, I think it was 1,200 submissions initially, but basically we were only going to show films from Scotland or Scottish-based filmmakers. But when we opened it up, a lot of people didn't read the terms and conditions, and on the first day I think we had 85 films for the Republic of Iran for some reason, so I don't know how that happened, but that just seemed to happen.
So word spread.
Yeah, kind of, I think so, yeah.
So, it's 53 short films?
Yeah.
And how did you whittle that down? What was the procedure?
Well, I mean, to be honest, we had a set block of time on for the short film programme, essentially, as well as the feature films. With the feature films, we could only show 5 on the day because there's 2 screening rooms. So essentially we had to try and find the films that we thought would be best to show in Fife, really, to be perfectly honest.
So what about, it's another film expo, it's another film festival, there's quite a lot of them. Is this a successful? Does this one do well?
This is the first
year,
yeah, in Fife,
right,
certainly, yeah.
And confident?
Yeah,
the pressure's on now.
To be honest,
nervous laugh.
I'll be confident in the day when people actually turn up and stuff like that.
Right,
I mean, we've been pushing it a lot on Facebook and Twitter and things like that, as well as online. I'll feel a lot better on the day, to be perfectly honest.
You know what, he's looking way too casual in the corner.
Yeah,
happens,
what happens, I'll be totally fine.
Yeah, you really relaxed about it. Okay, tell us some of the films, or about some of the films that we're going to see.
We've got Whiteout, which was by Laurie Brewster. I think probably Alex will be best placed to talk about the film. He was part of the selection process. And while I'm doing the workshops.
Yeah, I mean, one of the films that's going to be played later on at night is Whiteout. It's a film by a local filmmaker called Laurie Brewster, who's actually, it's his birthday today. He turns the big 4-0. So just wanted to say that happy birthday, Laurie Brewster, 40 today. But yeah, so he's a local filmmaker. He's based in Dyser, and it's sort of like a bit of a thriller. It's set in the future. The world's covered in snow and stuff like that, and it's basically to do with if people are going to get enough food and all these type of things. But the feature films themselves, one of the other ones is called Time Teens: The Beginning, and it's a sort of time travel sort of film it's set in the future as well. So there's a lot of different films that are shown on the day in the feature films, and with the short films there's 53 short films. There's everything from documentaries to comedies to horror, sci-fi and everything. So essentially there's a wide selection of films for everybody to come
and
see.
it caters for all tastes.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And Colin, it sounds like it's a lot more than just films. Tell us about workshops.
So I'm actually running a 3-hour workshop on the day, and there's going to be maybe between 5 and 10 participants, and they will basically make up the film crew, and we will spend the 3 hours developing a story on the spot, storyboarding it, shooting it, editing it, and hopefully, if we get it finished, we're all going to be showing it later in the evening.
And that'll take a whole day? You can do that in a day?
We're going to do it in 3 hours.
3 hours?
3 hours?
Can we send the STV crew, because the STV Edinburgh crew need all the help they can get.
I'm sure
that involves us, by the way.
No, we're fine. It's the guys behind the scenes that need all the camera training and stuff.
Yeah, well,
it was lovely working with you.
So what do you hope to achieve with the workshop?
It's really just a taster. So the guys who are going to be coming along have expressed an interest in filmmaking, but possibly have never had the opportunity to use the equipment or seen how it's done, the whole process together. So it's really about giving them hands-on experience. I'm a great believer that actually picking up a camera, picking up an audio device, getting in front of the camera and doing a bit of acting is probably the best education you can get at actually doing it. So it's about kind of building confidence and just really hands-on experience with camera gear. So it's
Best of luck.
Just remind us, when's it happening?
It's Saturday, the Lochgelly Centre, and it starts at 11 o'clock and it finishes 11 o'clock at night, and we've got all the films between that time.
I'm sure it'll be fabulous. Yes, all the best.
It'll be
Thank
good.
you both so much.
Cheers, mate. I might be looking for a job after that, Colin, at STV Edinburgh.
I think you might be as well. Well,